Hey, New Jersey, if you're into pickleball, then you need to check out the Picklehouse in Robbinsville, New Jersey. With 19 indoor courts, there's always a spot for you. Whether you're just picking up the paddle or playing at a competitive level, from casual drop-ins to structured leagues and tournaments, this is the ultimate destination for pickleball players of all skill levels. From their pro shop, which is stocked with some awesome pickleball gear, to their kitchen and tap with delicious food, the Picklehouse has you covered for a night out with friends. Visit RobbinsvillePicklehouse.com. That's Robbinsville, with 2 B's, 2 L's, Picklehouse.com to book your court today. The Picklehouse, where the game never stops.
Looking to build with the best? Reuther Materials has been proudly serving New Jersey since 1927. For nearly a century, they've supplied top quality building materials to help bring projects to life. Whether it's a backyard upgrade or a major commercial build, trust the name that's built on experience, reliability, and unmatched customer service. Reuther Building Materials, building New Jersey one project at a time. You can check them out at either one of their locations in North Bergen or Succassana, or visit them at reuthermaterial.com.
Hey, this is Jersey. You're listening to The Garden State.
You're listening to The Garden State, the only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week. My name is Josh Sobo.
I'm Josh Chomik.
I'm Jimmy Parks.
And I'm Jordan Morris.
Wow. So we are back, full lineup.
Crew.
Yeah, full deck of cards here.
Well, look who decided to show up today.
Sure.
Why are you looking at me? Jimmy wasn't here either.
Oh, that's true, Jimmy. Well, I can't see him anyway because of the screen.
Yeah, we like it that
The
way.
three of you like to bicker every week. The same, look who's here. And then Jordan comes back and goes, I'm not here. I was here last week. It's like the same thing every week. Man, you guys should just hug it out.
No one's consistent
Well,
here.
150 episodes in.
Oh, yeah? Guys, congrats, 150 episodes.
Is this 150?
This is
150.
150. This is huge.
Wow. 50 episodes ago, we had that party.
That's crazy.
We need to start playing the next one, I think.
When was that? February? March?
I want to say March.
I think
It was
March.
winter, I think, because it was kind of cold out.
Yeah.
And it had to be, like, if it's, 100 episodes. Oh, we did it after 100 episodes. So, yeah, it might have been, like, April.
March,
Interesting.
April makes sense. Yeah, in
I
my
think
timeline.
we're due for another event. We're due for another hangout. Bring some people by.
People keep asking us about it.
Really?
Yeah, on TikTok.
Huh. Well, yeah, we should get back. We should get back together. It was so much fun. For the listeners that don't know what's going on, we had a 100 episode celebration here at the studio. Had some pizza and some cake, some New Jersey trivia. Gave away some merch. It was a great time.
It was so much fun.
It was like 50 people that came out to hang out with us.
And it's really cool because we have everyone's photos on our wall right next to the right of me right now.
Yeah.
So like every time we come into the studio, we see everyone's photos who came to the meetup. And it just reminds us how great of a time it was. And we're very appreciative of everyone who listens to the podcast.
Yeah, it was awesome. So welcome back, guys. It's January. We're about to enter, I was going to say January 30th. Going to enter into February on Saturday. So if you're listening to this, it's the last day of January.
This year's flying by.
Yeah, we're 1/12 of the year done.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we sound like old men. That kid last week called us out. He's like, you sound like old men. But
I don't care. I've been 50 years old since I've been like 12.
yeah, I feel like an old man too. Excuse me. I feel like an old man too. I feel like I'm getting up there in my years.
You really are.
I feel great. I feel like I'm still like a teenager. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Feel wise, I don't think that much has changed since I've been like 17, since I've been able to drive.
What do you mean by feel? Like you're a physical being?
Yeah.
But mentally, you're an old man.
But mentally, I think I've always been old.
Yeah.
But like what I do on my day to day, I don't think has really changed that much since I've been 17.
You and Josh have always been old in many ways. You guys would be like, look at that drainage ditch. Look how they built that in. Like you guys, we'd be hanging out like 17. You guys would be like, look how they built that drainage ditch. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys?
It's better than us being 17 just locked to our cell phones like the rest of these 17-year-olds.
Right. It's yeah, I will say, and this is why this podcast works, is the three of us when we first started talking about this, all have weirdly old men attributes, like liking learning about New Jersey history.
Yeah.
And then Jordan came along, and I was like, he's equally kind of, maybe not. He's more youthful. I feel like.
Yeah,
Which
you
might be
guys
a good
are
balance.
bunch of old heads.
Yeah.
Is he here just because the family is kind of making you bring him on?
Yeah. So it was in the contract he signed with my sister, the engagement. So
It's
when
like
they got-
Jordan has to be here X amount of episodes type thing.
Well, when they got engaged,
it's okay, Jordan.
he came to me and said, I'll propose, but I need to be on the podcast. That's the only way I'm going to do it. I said, Really? And he said, yeah, I need, the only way I'm going to marry your sister is if you let me be on the podcast.
Jordan, you could have just asked me to be on the pod, and I would have said yeah. Like it would have been
Oh, that
no
would
big
have been
deal.
easier.
Yeah, you should have just came to me.
Did Olivia have any say in this or no?
Well, I don't know that she knows that detail. I should probably tell her.
Yeah.
Does
gonna
Olivia
find out.
does she even listen to the podcast?
No.
No, nobody in my
Never.
life listens to this podcast. My wife doesn't listen to this podcast.
Shelby listened to way too many episodes of this when we were recording in her living room.
That's
Yeah,
true.
she has
Sure.
she has a
Listen.
pass. She's all
Yeah,
right.
but my dad probably listens to this. That's probably the one person in my life that my parents.
My parents listen to every single episode,
Really?
and my grandma. Yeah, they always, every time I go over, they ask me about like what we were talking about and stuff. And
Oh,
we
that's
like
great.
continue the conversation. It's crazy. My number one supporters.
They're the best.
Thanks, mom and dad.
So Baba's listening to this right now?
Oh yeah, and she
She watches
Baba
it, right?
watches it. Yeah, on her TV. So like every week in
Hi,
Florida,
Baba.
she has like us on the big screen in Florida because she's there right now and she watches us. So.
Oh, it's great.
Hi, Baba. We love you. We miss you. And yeah, dude, she listens to every episode. She always asks about you guys. So
She comes
She
home.
loves you.
She comes home soon, right?
yeah, she comes home this weekend.
Nice.
Big deal.
Wow.
It's a big day.
So she might be watching this back home in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, knowing Baba's watching makes me want to straighten up a little bit.
Well, dude, she's been watching 150 times.
Oh, they probably think I'm such a bad guy.
No, they love you.
The way we joke.
No, they love you.
Oh,
They,
man.
they know it's all love here on the Garden State.
But we roast each other. We make fun of each other nonstop.
Yeah, but that means we love each other.
I wouldn't do that in front of my grandma, though.
Now my grandma guesses she's cool.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Love you,
Well, in
Bubba.
that case, I can't stand you. No kidding. I didn't just start making fun of me.
you.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are doing a morning session this week, which feels good. We're getting the coffee in us. Back to the
Oh, yeah.
early morning rise and grind. With January ending, all I can think about is every year we've been doing this 100-day countdown to Memorial Day, and we're almost there again.
Crazy.
Don't you remember we just did that?
Yep.
Yeah.
How many days do you think we are from Memorial Day right now in New Jersey?
Let's see. February, March, April, that's like 93 days. April, May, like 93, 103, 100. 117 days.
116.
No way!
Yeah.
Are you serious?
guess, yeah.
I closed my eyes. I did not peek over.
Yeah, very,
That's
very
pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
116 days from Memorial Day, which sounds like a lot,
Wow.
but it's really not.
No.
Because what's the actual date? Is like I was thinking May 20 something.
May 26th this year.
Okay. Is it always May 26th or just
The last Monday of
wow?
May, I believe.
And what's nice about the early mornings is the sun's coming up a little earlier every day, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, I was on the train home a little after 5 o'clock, came out of the tunnel, and the sun was still up in the air setting. And I thought, oh, it just made me think of summer. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's a good
and I know
feeling.
it's January and that's psychotic to think about the summertime, but no, I just thought the days are getting longer.
Best.
The weather's going to start getting warmer. You know, we are officially, well, by the time people are listening to this podcast, we're basically in February. We're like 4 weeks from March.
Yeah.
And March, usually you get 1 or 2 of those days where it's 60 degrees.
Oh yeah.
So we're dipping our toes and getting out of winter, which is exciting. I don't want to be premature with it, but it is exciting to think that this very, very cold New Jersey winter is going to come to a close.
Are you boys still hopeful for a snowstorm, or are you guys all
Yes.
over it?
I wouldn't mind it. I would not mind if a 14-inch storm came along, I would be thrilled.
Like I said, give us like a 2-foot storm and then 60 degrees the next day. It can melt. It's cool.
That's the best storms in my mind.
Yeah.
So like we had that snowstorm last week.
Yep.
And all the snow is still on the ground. I want it to go away.
Yeah.
At this point, it looks disgusting. Like let it go away.
You know what was nice though, because it was so cold throughout the week, it didn't become that like really disgusting looking snow. It still kind of stayed like nice and pure and white everywhere. So
Yeah.
like I was walking in the freezing cold last week. I was like, it's kind of nice how the snow stuck around for once.
Yeah.
No. As soon as it falls off the trees, I'm done with it. That's my favorite part. When
trees.
all the snow's on the trees and the power lines
See, you
just
guys
everywhere.
are old men. See, I knew it.
What's old men about that? He likes snow on trees.
I'm just joking. I love when I'm driving on the Parkway, Jimmy, and every tree's got a little snow
it's
on it.
right?
magical.
It's beautiful.
And then
It's
it
beautiful.
falls off and it's
brightens
like,
everything
oh,
up.
this ruins it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's nice. But I will say when the snow gets kind of hard, it's been there for like 2 weeks. Just get rid of it already. So all that to say, if we got a nice bombogenesis, a bomb cyclone, snowstorm,
Blizzard.
mid-Feb, and then the week later it's 60 degrees out, I'd be happy as a clam.
Oh my gosh.
Water for the earth. Get rid of some of the. We've had this drought. Is there still a drought, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, we're still very much in a drought.
So we gotta break out of this drought.
How much snow would we need in one
one clip.
storm, Jim, to repair this drought? Would you say?
I think it would be many storms.
So like,
I mean, you got two types of drought, right? You got your water supply drought in your reservoirs, which we're still in a drought warning, and then just ground water drought is like pretty bad too.
so we need lots of water.
Yeah, like South Jersey is super bad. I think they're still in like an extreme drought or something like that.
That's crazy. It's like you don't think about these things if you're not thinking about a drought, but it's actually serious.
The new drought monitor comes out today, actually.
Yes.
So, what are the odds that the drought in New Jersey is resolved before wildfire season coming up in April, which is when things are usually pretty dry?
I don't foresee that happening. Unless we get a whole bunch of rain in the next 2 months here.
So we need rain for the spring.
Yeah.
April showers.
We need April showers. We need March and February showers too, though.
Of February, March blizzards. Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Be very nice. So,
But they're saying right now this snow, because it was so cold, it's doing nothing to help our drought, right? Because the bottom's frozen and it's just evaporating off the top, so none of it's actually sinking down to the ground.
oh, Jimmy, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that was like the coolest fact of the day.
I just pictured
gonna
like
use that.
I just pictured like a diagram from
Like sixth grade science class.
exactly.
It's in the
I had
science
this
textbook.
science textbook that have like clear overlays in it, so you could do like
Oh,
the different rain
yeah.
systems. Like it'd be like evaporation.
Those are my favorite.
You see the
so
yellow
cool.
arrows pointing to,
Yeah, oh, I loved it,
to the clouds.
man. I would
I
like
gotta
to
pick up a textbook one
I,
of these days.
I would like to redo school now as an adult.
I want to buy a textbook I had in middle school and kind of see if I can educate myself on some of these things I should know.
I would get so much more out of it now that I
Yes.
care about it. I would like to redo fourth grade English and relearn sentence structures.
What's a book? Were we reading like Boxcar Children in fourth grade, or what was a fourth grade?
I don't remember.
Book.
I can't even tell
I
you.
think it was Boxcar Children.
I remember the name of that book, but I don't remember when we
Or
read
like
it.
Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe. When was that? Was that second grade, third grade?
Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, like
You were reading that in second grade?
I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
It was like the dumbed down version, I think.
Oh, I was gonna say that seems like pretty
I think it was
advanced
like fourth,
reading.
fifth grade. You guys you're actually reading books, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But remember we had like a reading textbook and it had a bunch of stories in it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm thinking about like when do you start reading books?
I think middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm sure you read books before middle school, but you're talking about actual novels like C.S. Lewis.
Yeah, that's like Lion, Witch, and a Wardrobe. Like that's
I
my
think
example.
that's got to be like a sixth grade book.
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think there's any way you're reading that in second grade.
Really?
I think there's like Old English. Didn't C.S. Lewis write that like
Oh.
150 years ago?
Yeah, Captain Underpants was like
I
second,
was
third
just
grade. I
about to say
think
Captain Underpants.
I had the whole
See,
series.
the U.S. Well, I wasn't in the public schools at this time when I was in those grades, so I wasn't reading Captain Underpants for my primary education.
Every book fair they had the new Captain Underpants.
What about the
book.
Magic Tree House? Did you ever read that?
No,
No?
no.
What?
That was more Captain Underpants
The
all
Magic
day.
Tree
Or
House?
Junie B. Jones?
Junie B.
Junie B. Jones.
Those are classics.
No,
All right. Well,
sorry, Jordan. Let you down.
I'm glad that I missed out on all these great books.
Wait, what were you reading? What kind of books were you reading?
I got like a classical education, boys. I was reading like old American. What was
Catcher in the Rye.
what's the story about all the books that had the guy with he had the Davy Crockett hat on his head.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
There's like a whole series of them. I don't. When I was that age, I don't remember all those. I read classic
idea.
sort of books.
Okay.
I know what
You
you're
know.
talking about. I just can't.
Yeah, we read good books. We
Okay.
didn't read Captain Underpants
Okay.
as our formative book,
But Captain Underpants.
and we wonder why our nation's falling apart.
But Captain Underpants had a lot of text in it, so like it really helped me learn words and to read.
Speaking of reading, every time I read these stories on this podcast, I'm reminded of, well, reading here is harder than just reading a book. If I sit and read a book, it's one thing. To read these stories proficiently and to enunciate is incredibly hard.
I credit you with so much. It's so hard to do.
It's very, very hard for me to do. I don't know why. And I read books to my daughter at night, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the same sort of thing. But they're easier to read.
I hope they're a
just-
little easier to
it's
read.
It's like Goodnight Moon, which at this point I have that book memorized. I could do the whole thing. Sometimes I just close my eyes and I flip through the pages and I just recite it because I already
Dude,
know
when
what
are we
it's
going to
gonna say.
start the second business?
Which is the children's book business?
Yeah, where we just do like audiobooks. Or we bring back like Adventures in Odyssey. Like we bring back some of those
I
that
want to
dream
do a
years.
radio drama.
radio drama. That's what the word I'm thinking of.
I really want to do a radio drama, a New Jersey radio drama for kids.
Brother,
I think it could be.
I am so ready to pull that trigger
Yeah.
and the microphone's ready to go. And I'll help you produce it if you want to do it.
Well, we'll talk about it. Guys, so look, we have a good week of news, and we also have one mailbag that's going to lead into the news. Should we do that? Is there any weekend recapping that you wanted to share?
Yeah.
Something New Jersey related that you did?
I did something really cool this week with Jordan. Actually, he helped me. Jordan picked me up. I think it was the first time he ever drove me. It was crazy. And because I had to go pick up my car in Patterson, I dropped it off at the shop. So which one of my friends doesn't have a 9 to 5 like everyone else? Jordan Morris.
Nice.
So I knew I could rely on Jordan midday the other day to drive me half an hour to Patterson. But on the way to pick up my car, guess where I stopped for the first time in my life?
Ruts Hut.
No, I need to go to Ruts Hut, though. Patterson, Great Falls.
Oh, I did see that.
Have you
never been there before?
I've never been to the Great Falls,
I
dude.
was shocked too.
Josh,
Have you been
we went together.
to the Great Falls? When?
Probably 2010.
Oh, really?
I took a photo of it, and you had... I could be wrong on this, but I went to
Maybe.
the Patterson Falls,
Yeah.
and I could have sworn you took me there.
Could have been. It's just so long ago. I don't even read. That was what? That's like 14 years ago, if anything.
15.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I thought it was my first time there. Maybe it was my second time, but nonetheless, 15 years. We stopped at Great Falls. It was like a frozen tundra,
It was pretty cool.
like a New Jersey Niagara Falls. Jordan, he's been there many times apparently. So
Just
like-
once.
Okay, just once.
But I
he
actually
knew
remembered it.
he knew the place. But we tried walking across the bridge and all that, and it was awesome, Josh.
Jordan goes to the Patterson Falls every now and again just to think,
Yeah.
just to reflect on
I
life.
can picture him just standing next to a waterfall and just reflecting
thinking.
on life.
Throws
Yeah.
rocks in.
It was cool though. Like we had a good time. There was like no one there because it was all like it was cold.
cold,
But it was nice to stop as a pit stop before I picked up my vehicle from Madison Avenue in Patterson.
It's so random that we have this amazing waterfall structure.
It's mind blowing. And like you were saying, the buildings nearby, like the
Yeah, the
falls,
buildings are gorgeous.
very like old world feeling like
Like that,
town.
the Burger King we saw.
Yeah, it's
Which
crazy.
is like this old like brick building with a random Burger King in it.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful area.
Did you know Patterson is the birthplace of the American Industrial Revolution?
Is it really?
Yeah. And I was actually reading about this recently.
Yeah, all the buildings in the area look just like that. It's crazy. It
Yeah, it
feels
has-
like a different town.
It has an amazing amount of history. It's kind of sad because a lot of the areas aren't the best and could be revitalized.
Of course.
But Patterson has an amazing amount of historical significance, not just to New Jersey, but to our entire nation.
Yeah.
So Patterson, New Jersey holds a unique place in history. It was here in the nation's first planned industrial city that the Industrial Revolution got a foothold. Centered around the Great Falls of the Patterson River, as you could imagine, guys, think about the
Water.
massive waterfall structure
Yeah.
generating all this force and power.
Yep.
It was here that manufacturers, which enabled the young United States to become a global economic power, were established and promoted. In the process, Patterson experienced all the economic highs and lows that can befall an industrial center. Patterson's continued story, one of industry, innovation, and immigration, is a key part of America's ongoing experiment, driven most importantly by persistence and resilience in the face of adversity. And we need to throw some patriotic music.
I
in
was thinking that as you see, we're on the
that.
same
I'm thinking.
page here.
I'm thinking like the flute. You know, like American
The
like
Yankee Doodle.
kind of like
flute
yeah,
there.
Yankee Doodle. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's perfect. It is wild. Like we were standing on the bridge, like looking down at the falls, and it's crazy how big it is. Like
Yeah.
if you've never been to the Patterson Great Falls, go check it out. It's massive. And it's kind of mind blowing because it's like you don't think about
It
this
is
when you're
one of
going to Patterson.
Bigger waterfalls in the U.S. at least, right?
In the US, really? I don't know.
I would assume.
I don't know my waterfall stats. I don't know if Jimmy can get a number up for us really quickly, but
I don't think so. Not in the whole United States.
not in the
There's
whole
some
US.
Huge.
Well, probably Jersey, right?
It's,
I mean, it's probably. I would say it's definitely.
it's not the
biggest one.
tallest in New Jersey. We know that.
What's the tallest waterfall in New Jersey, Jim?
Buttermilk Falls.
That's in Jersey?
Yeah.
I always think that's right over the border. I always get
I thought that
confused.
was in PA.
So can I give you guys one more Patterson?
Please.
fact?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Please.
So it says starting in the 17th century, Dutch settlers. You could put the music back on for this. Dutch settlers moved into the region. 14 Dutch families established themselves here, later dividing their 100-acre plots of land into smaller farm units. By the way, the Dutch were just onto something. The Dutch showed up, they rolled up, and they just made awesome little.
They were killing it, honestly.
The Dutch were followed by the English, who who wrested control. That's an interesting word. WRESTED. Wrested control of the New Netherlands colony from them in 1674. Over 100 years later, in 1792, the area would undergo a transformation, one started by a private state-sponsored corporation led by none other than Alexander Hamilton.
Whoa. Absolutely incredible.
So that's New Jersey, baby.
That's New Jersey,
That's what it's all about.
Historical fact of the day right there.
Yeah, so Hamilton was keenly aware of the industrial causes of the conflict. So talking about the Revolutionary War. It's just, I don't want to keep reading, but this whole page is really, really cool. There's a lot of American history tied up in Patterson.
It's wild.
And Jordan, you ever been told you kind of look like Alexander Hamilton?
No, do I?
I see something with the jawline, right?
Like if you had white hair and your hairline was receding a little bit.
The lips.
Turn your head that way a little bit.
Yeah, turn your head a little bit.
Yeah.
He needs longer hair and it'd be perfect.
Yeah, I could kind of see it.
Jordan.
That's a huge compliment, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's dive into the mailbag for this week. Josh, people have been asking. They've been texting me, what is the number?
People have been asking me what the number is to call into the mailbag. And Josh, actually, we have the number right here. If you want to call into the mailbag, the number is
908 67 99 99 3.
Well, it's good, Garden State. Your boy Rick from Brick. Got a funny story I was just reading here. Jersey's biggest tourist trap, American Dream Mall, is in the news again for defying Bergen County's blue law. Just shopping for necessities on Sundays, like no clothes and all that. And the mayor of Paramus is thinking of suing them. Just figured it was funny. Maybe some of you guys wanted to talk about that. Peace out.
Rick from Brick.
Rick from Brick, thank you. Our most loyal mailbag caller. Every week we get a call from Rick.
Yeah. I mean, if we took his calls every single week, he'd pretty much be part of the podcast. That's how often he calls into the mailbag.
Just get him in for Rick. If you ever want to come up for an episode, let us know. Come by and hang out. Yeah, Rick, great call.
Crazy story.
This is actually our first story of the day. Had anybody? I know you built the lineup out. Jordan, did you hear about this? What's going on?
I've been hearing about it for a few weeks now. Like, I know there's been a lot of commotion going on in Bergen County about it. A lot of people are really mad about it because, like, and we'll talk about it in the article, but, like, they've been obeying these Bergen County blue laws for a long time. And now American Dream comes in. They're like, yeah, we don't have to follow this. So a lot of people are mad about this.
Why don't they just get rid of the law?
So the American Dream Mall is defying Bergen County's historic blue laws, causing a massive debate in Bergen County.
The entire county is riled up over this, bro.
Yeah, so this is it's
People aren't happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me read the article.
That's wild, dude.
Despite Bergen County's blue laws, which require retail stores to close on Sunday, the American Dream Mall is open for business on Sundays. Shoppers seem thrilled about it, but there are some county officials who are not. CBS News New York learned earlier this month that the American Dream started advertising that all stores are open on Sundays, and many have been for more than a year. See, you could understand why this is an issue, because historically, Bergen County requires, due to the blue laws, no retail stores be open on Sundays.
Yep.
So the American Dream Mall is just making up their own rules, saying we're going to do what we want to do, which
no one's going to stop us. We're the American Dream Mall.
It's a power play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The article, this interview goes on to interview some shoppers that are, excited. One person said, "I think it's fantastic," said Joanna Mordecki of Tuxedo Park, New York. She's a New Yorker. What does she get to say about New Jersey?
Nah, she has no say in this. Tuxedo Park.
Dina Goldman of Teaneck said she grew up with the blue laws and liked them, but now shares the same sentiment as her daughter, who approves the idea. "It was very exciting when we saw it opening officially," Goldman said. There's nothing wrong with having a place to go that's indoors away from the cold, with a million things to do and a million people to see. That was another comment from Harold Johnson of Somerset. Someone said, "This is Bergen County? Wow. How'd they get away with it?" So a spokesperson for the county said, County Executive James Tedesco has been a steadfast supporter of the Bergen County blue laws, long recognizing their vital role in enhancing residents' quality of life, and adding American Dream's disregard of the state statute is deeply concerning. The county administration has reached out to New Jersey State Attorney General, which is Matt Plotkin, to determine who has the authority to enforce the compliance. So What do you guys think is going to happen here? What are your thoughts on the blue laws?
My question is, at one time, did all counties have blue laws and Bergen County is just the last one to still remain?
Yeah, I think blue laws were a nationwide thing, actually.
Okay.
So Bergen County's holding fast to
An American tradition.
an American tradition. And I'm gonna be an old man for a second here.
Tell me.
And you guys could probably assume this would be my take.
Give it to me.
I like it. I like the idea. I think, in America, you're free. You should be able to operate your business. That's the one side of me goes, yeah, let people do whatever they want with their business. But on the other side, I kind of like the fact that this was a baked-in sort of social norm is you just don't shop on Sundays. It's just go relax, rest,
Spend time with your family, stay home.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny
Workers
that
get the day off.
you get a day off. It's a day of everything shut down and quiet. And I think it's a good cultural reset in a time where everything's always going. You're kind of forced to just be like, well, what are we going to do? We can't go to the mall. Like, why don't we just hang out with family?
And newsflash, if you actually do want to go shopping near Bergen County, just go to the county next door and there will be a store open if you have to really shop on Sundays.
But I guess that on the flip side, I could see how some people would say, oh, this is antiquated. Nobody else is doing it. Why is Bergen County still doing it?
Yeah.
And I would love to hear, a representative of Bergen County come make the case for us. Why is it still a thing? American Dream is kind of bold of them on their part to come in and be the newcomers.
Yeah, well, they're just trying to bully everyone because they're like, we're the American Dream. Look how big we are. We're going to make a statement and we're going to change this once and for all because no one else is doing anything. And I think it really is pissing off a lot of people in the county because they've been obeying these laws for so long, dude.
There's something poetic here that the American Dream Mall is choosing on a day that would traditionally, the reason blue law started, I think, was because of like Sabbath,
Probably, yeah, right?
Like people going to church and just hanging out with their families. But the American Dream Mall is going to make sure that doesn't happen. We are going to have our stores open on.
Yep.
And that's the least charitable take I could give. I mean, I don't think that's, because we have other stores open in New Jersey on Sundays. But it is kind of funny when you frame it like that.
It is crazy because it says the mayor of Paramus is strategizing this week with the governing body of the borough and its legal team to see what can be done. And you got to think Paramus, dude. They got Garden State Plaza there. They got so many stores that they've been obeying this law. And so he must be pretty upset. So I wonder, do you think there will be a more powerful body that comes through and be like, American Dream, you got to stop? Do you think they're able to do that, or you think American Dream is not going to stand them?
I don't know what is the punishment just fines? Because they could probably just pay
fines,
the fine.
Yeah, it's just fines.
So they're just going to keep paying a fine over and over
keep
again?
paying the fine. It might be worth it to them.
Maybe, but also you have to think there's more layers. Like you don't want to not have a cordial relationship with the leadership of the county you're operating with it. I mean, I think that's the political game is American Dream. So what happens when they go to do some new construction? They need to pull a permit. Like, do you want to really step in it and be like the eyesore, or not the eyesore? That's the wrong way to say it. But the kind of the pain in the butt to the county where they're really ticked off with you. I also think the other thing is, Bergen County needs to act quickly on this because here's the reality. Now, if you're gonna let American Dream get away with this, there are a lot of small family-owned businesses that should have been allowed to do this all along.
Well, the small businesses are hurting now from it.
Oh,
like
really?
Well, I would assume so, yeah. If they have to close on Sundays, everyone's out shopping downtown in downtowns on Sundays. Like, so many people probably wish they can keep their business open to make some more money.
Yeah, so it would make sense that I don't care what they do, but they got to make a decision as a county. They have to either shut down the American Dream on Sundays or they have to let everybody else be open.
Yeah.
So it's fair for the county.
And that's the thing too. American Dream is so big and there's so many different things to do in there. You could have the retail stores be closed and still have American Dream popping on a Sunday. Go to the theme park, go to the snowboarding area, go to the arcade. There's so many places to bring your family to have fun. You don't have to have the stores all open. The American Dream Mall could still be killing it on Sunday if the stores close down.
Do you think that's a sign that the mall isn't doing well, though? That
they need to keep
probably need to keep the stores open.
Probably. Like we've always heard like rumors of like issues with American Dream Mall.
Yeah.
But
so I just asked ChatGPT, what types of stores do Bergen County NJ blue laws impact? And I don't know if this is fully, let's just take it with a grain of salt. Is it grain of salt or grain of sand? I've been thinking about
salt. Mm-hmm. Grain of salt.
I heard someone say grain of sand in it.
They're wrong.
I've never heard that before.
Because grain of salt makes sense. It gives you a little flavor.
Is a grain of sand smaller than a grain of salt?
It depends on the salt. I think talking kosher or are we talking iodized? All right,
Sea
so
salt.
Bergen County, New Jersey has some of the strictest blue laws in the country, which prohibit most non-essential retail businesses from operating on Sundays. These laws primarily impact large retail stores, particularly those selling clothing, furniture, appliances, electronics, and general merchandise. So you're talking about department stores, clothing stores, shoe stores, electronic stores, furniture stores. Stores not affected are grocery stores, pharmacies, convenience stores, restaurants and cafes, gas stations, movie theaters, hotels, and hospitals.
I was there a couple weeks ago, and the Target in Paramus was closed, which I was shocked because I'm like, they have a pharmacy usually in Targets, and they have
closed-
groceries.
The Target's closed?
The Target was closed, yeah.
Because they do have groceries and stuff there. That's
why I
kinda-
was confused because I was like,
but that's weird. I never thought about that.
It said
Like,
right on their sign. Closed
not
on
living in
Sundays.
Bergen County, I'm not used to like how the blue laws work because we're so used to everything being open all the time. But that's interesting.
Oh, here's the other reason. I forgot. This is actually, I know somebody that works in this area and they had mentioned this. So I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. I just had an epiphany. So
forgive you.
ChatGPT goes on to say the restrictions help reduce traffic congestion and provide a quieter day for residents. If you think about Route 17,
yeah.
Disaster.
so you think about people want a day of rest, and maybe, so it says 1959, originally designed to promote a day of rest. Despite multiple efforts to repeal them, voters have consistently upheld the law. So the voters of the area are probably ticked off about this because you think about Bergen County, how crazy the traffic is from shopping on Route 17.
It's a mess.
To have a day where everything cools off is probably amazing. Maybe.
Yeah. And
So-
also, like in the Meadowlands with Sundays, football Sundays, think about how much traffic there is already, and then
True.
adding the mall into
Yeah.
it. So,
That's a really good point.
yeah. Even though it's only, like 9 games out of the season on a Sunday, so it's not like too much, but still, yeah, it does calm down a bit. It's interesting. I would love to hear someone call into the mailbag from Bergen County and let us know if you're in support of the blue laws or not. Like, tell us how that changes your opinion on everything and how it feels. Like, because none of us here live in Bergen County, so we don't even know. Like, we've never experienced the blue laws before. So I would love to hear from someone on the ground in Bergen County about how you feel about this and if you're mad.
Yeah.
Call us in the mailbag.
Let's move on to another story here. The drone situation, guys.
Yeah.
It's a month ago. This was all the rave. Well, maybe 5 weeks ago. This was all the
Yeah.
rave. Right before Christmas.
Calm down now.
Hey, good times.
And we almost
Good
bought.
times.
I almost put an order in for like 400 shirts, drone shirts,
We had a pile right now.
and my instinct said, "Don't do it." So I didn't do it, and thank goodness because we would have had a lot of shirts we can't
Yeah.
sell. So the White House has revealed the truth about the New Jersey drones, and some officials are now asking for more information.
The truth.
I don't think it's. They didn't
Is it-
tell us
is it
anything we
actually
don't
the
already know. No. It's
It
a
didn't tell us.
non-answer.
Yeah,
Well,
they didn't really
okay,
tell
let's
us
go
anything.
into the article.
I think it's a non-answer. I think Jimmy's right. I think confirming for the conspiracy heads that they were FAA approved is good. I think that should have been done from day one. You know, the Biden's administration should just come out and be like, "Hey, look, they're FAA approved. Don't worry about it." I think that would have calmed.
Little qualm.
It would have calmed a lot of people's
It would have.
nerves.
It would have.
Yeah.
If they
Because
just
you
said
had all
that.
these conspiracies about Iran and I don't know. I think it would have been
Some
great.
nukes and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
Like, and the other thing is like, why is the way they made it worse was the FBI being like, report anything you see, and then the
Yeah,
local
that too.
sheriff's departments were causing commotion because they're like, we have no idea what they are. And if somebody had just come out, press secretary for President Joe Biden had come out, it was KJP had come out and just been like, listen, these are FAA approved. We know what's going on. There's no cause for concern. I think that would have squashed a lot of it. It would have just been a really interesting thing at that point.
yeah.
But I think the way all these different agencies were not working in conjunction made it scarier than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
People
I mean-
are panicking, bro. People didn't leave their homes.
Yeah, like Josh, you were freaking out, dude.
Listen,
Leave their homes.
I saw one on the parkway and I kind of freaked out. It was nuts. But it was so cool to see. It was just a fun time. Remember, like we went chasing for a bit and like we'd be looking around into the sky and the Facebook page was going nuts. It was just
Yeah.
a good memory we'll have for the rest of our lives now. The drone hysteria of 24.
Drone crisis. So several New Jersey officials are disappointed with President Donald Trump's statement about drones and wondered why the Biden administration didn't offer the same explanation. So White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on Tuesday wrote a statement from Trump saying there was nothing to indicate the drones were a national security threat and that they were being used for a lawful purpose. So after research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Now,
What does that mean?
that's where people get a little concerned. What are the other reasons?
I know. What's this research? And why didn't the FAA just tell us they were doing that from the start?
Listen. This is nothing that we didn't already know. I'm just going to get into this, right? Naval Weapons Stations Earl. Naval Weapons Stations Earl.
Yes.
Huge place. They confirmed that they had a drone in their airspace. Now, let me
Yes.
tell you something. If me and you were to fly a drone in their airspace,
Yes.
or take
It'd be down.
or take a boat and
down.
go into their water, we'd be shot.
Yeah.
So them confirming, oh yeah, we had a drone in our airspace, yeah, no big deal. Should have told us everything we need to know from the start.
But Jim, with the Coast Guard, they had like that all right off the coast of Asbury. They had
I
like
know.
a swarm of 20 drones following them, and they had no idea what that even was.
That's
so
what
were
I-
they lying?
I mean,
It was probably just a lot of miscommunication.
yeah. Whatever they were doing, it had to be like so uber top secret. And now obviously they're done doing it, so they can. It's like anything else.
Well, it was a wreck, that's for sure. Because look how panicked everyone was.
Well, it was definitely not a great way to communicate it, and it still leaves a lot of questions. People still have
A lot of
questions.
these local officials are really mad.
More questions than answers.
Yeah, I would agree with Jimmy. You just summed it up perfectly, brother. There's more questions than answers here. Because here's what I'm wondering now is, was the dirty bomb theory true?
I don't know.
And this is the predominant
We might
theory.
never know.
Well, we might find out eventually if they...
when it goes off.
So, yeah, I mean, or maybe we won't find out because it'll be...
I mean, hopefully not.
Not to stoke hysteria, but let me read a little bit more of the article, then we'll talk about the dirty bomb theory. So after research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of the drones were also hobbyists, recreational and private individuals
That was me.
that enjoy flying drones.
Yeah.
So that makes sense because in post of seeing the drones initially, people began to fly their drones in troll, which we all thought was probably happening. But in time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. So Levitt did not disclose the nature of the research or if the research was being done by the government, the military, or a private company. So that's another factor there. The FAA approved these, but we don't know whose were they. You know, and should a private company be allowed to terrorize the American citizens in that way without some level of communication from the federal government? What's going on?
That's why it's so strange.
So Rep. Josh Gottenheimer, he's a Democrat from New Jersey's 5th District, said that while he is happy that there's no national security threat presented by the drones, he sent a letter to the FAA demanding further explanation about the research and various other reasons that the drones were conducting. So thank you, Josh Gottenheimer. Let us know what you find, brother. Hopefully there's some resolution there. But
Did you see what the Monmouth County Sheriff said?
yeah, read that part.
Yeah, the Monmouth County Sheriff Sean Golden laid blame on the FAA for a lack of transparency about the drones creating heightened alarm and unnecessary anxiety in the community. Golden repeated his call for Congress efforts to pass legislation to give local law enforcement the ability to respond to drones. So, yeah, a lot of these guys are just so upset with how this whole thing unfolded.
Again, whatever they must have been doing must have been so top secret that they were like, who cares if the locals are going to spend a few $1 million looking for these things?
But that's
Right,
messed
like
up.
But that's like the level that you're working at, right? It's like
But what is it? What's so secret that they're doing?
I don't know. That's the thing, though,
Dirty
right?
bomb.
Like whatever it is,
Dirty
it's
bomb
like
theory.
who cares?
When you
They
say
spend a
if-
few $1 million looking for these things. The locals go crazy. Who
But what do you
cares?
mean by that? Explain that to me, Jimmy. You're saying like local law enforcement's investing resource?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. I don't disagree with you, Jimmy. I mean, we heard reports of them going down, like drones falling, one in Somerset County.
It ended up being like just regular hobbyist drones.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nothing official.
So I think Jimmy makes a good point, though. Whatever was happening must have been such a high level that the federal leaders were emboldened to not feel like they had to share, which goes back to the dirty bomb theory. You gonna do it? Let's ask ChatGPT.
We should just have ChatGPT be on this podcast.
I'm curious what it's going to
Is
say.
ChatGPT like the unofficial 5th member?
I think so.
So The dirty bomb theory regarding drones over New Jersey refers to a speculative concern that unidentified drones flying over sensitive locations, such as power plants, oil refineries, and transportation hubs, could be used to deliver or detonate a radiological dispersal device. Now, that's not what I heard. I thought the the dirty bomb theory was there's concern for a terrorist threat in New Jersey. There's a bomb, and the drones are doing surveillance to try to uncover where that location could potentially be.
Well, what's interesting, we never talked about this in the pod after we brought it up. Remember when they did the drone ban for a month from like December 15th to like January 15th?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there was like all the areas in Jersey that we mentioned, all the different towns. Well, every single spot that there was a drone ban, every airspace that you couldn't fly in was over a PSE&G power plant.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a second. So maybe PSE&G was
Over their like electrical plants or whatever.
maybe they were
called.
doing it. They were up to something,
It's weird, right?
or maybe they just
I would say there's a threat to the power
the
infrastructure.
safety.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, we never really dug into that, but that's
You
it's
know
very
what?
That
interesting.
seems very likely.
I know somebody.
The power grid.
Yeah, it's the power grid. You don't want to mess up the power grid.
I know somebody that worked for a federal bureau that I'm not going to say the last letter.
Of investigation.
I don't know, but
Oh.
they just worked for a 3-letter agency, and they told me, they would always tell me, the biggest concern for future terrorist threats is not going to look like 9/11. It's going to be the grid or it's going to be water. Those are the two things. And
Yeah.
all of New York City's water
Makes
comes from like
sense.
2 hours upstate. But if you think about the New Jersey power grid going down for, let's just say a week, it's a long time, 7 days. No internet, your refrigerator isn't plugged in, the gas pumps aren't pumping because I think they use
Hurricane
electricity.
Sandy. We lived through it.
But how long was it down for? Because
I didn't have power for like a week.
You lost it for a full week?
There were some people who
same.
lost it for longer. I luckily didn't.
Yeah, but I didn't lose it for. I think we lost it.
We're in a
maybe
good
for
pound.
day.
We're in a good area.
Yeah, I just fixed it up. I shored up the grid. No, but imagine though if the grid went down for everybody.
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
once.
it'd be chaos.
It would be anarchy. You'd
Yeah.
see murders. You'd see. It would be so horrendous. Let alone that's a week. Imagine if someone blew up the power grid. And they were like, "Hey, it's going to take 8 months to get this back going." Can you imagine?
I can't imagine that. Like,
You have to get the Army
can't
Corps of
imagine
Engineers
what
coming
that's
in.
gonna
Like,
look like.
it would be total anarchy, chaos. We would see crime. I think I need dark music behind what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
Crime the likes of which you've never seen before. So let's just hope and pray that that's not.
I heard something similar where they said there's only a handful of like substations throughout the country where if you took them out, you basically knock out the power in 75% of the country. And like it would take, potentially months or years to restore it.
I believe
So
it.
it's like that's kind of
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Like if you had somebody with a very coordinated attack.
Dude, just get a solar panel.
I already have one like this big.
Oh, really?
Power the whole house with that.
It's scary. It makes you want to go off the grid. Which
does.
is the origin of getting off grid, right? Getting off the
Yeah.
power grid. Wouldn't mind having some solar panels in my yard.
You guys are going solar or?
No, I don't think so. But I think I'm just saying I wouldn't mind the prospect. But all right, let's keep moving here. We're spending a lot of time on these drones. We've talked about them many times. So guys, there's your resolution. We may never know.
At least
We
we're
may
safe.
never know.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, we're
Hopefully. Probably not.
All right. Here's a breaking story from yesterday. Former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez has received 11 years in prison for taking bribes and acting as an agent of Egypt.
Oh.
They slapped him with the agent of Egypt.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is Bob Menendez the first politician to ever go to jail?
Right? It's crazy when you hear a story like this that he's actually getting prison time. Is he actually getting prison time? But like it looks like he is.
He's getting 11 years, and there was a video I sent to you guys yesterday, but for the listeners, he's now coming out saying he's like
I saw that.
appealing to President
Yeah,
Trump.
he was like, Trump
Yeah.
was right. I was
She's
like,
like,
what?
it's a
What
witch
is
hunt.
this?
He's like, Trump is right. The justice system is so politicized. And it's like, all right, someone's looking for a pardon now,
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny how,
The turntables.
yeah, I mean,
But that's politics, right? Like,
yeah,
It's all a joke.
Like, I saw the RFK hearing was yesterday, not to get into, I don't care one way or the other what you think, but it's just funny how that dude was getting like ripped apart by all his friends. Like he was a Democrat his whole life and they're all tearing him apart. And it happens on both. Like that's the way everything, they're all on this. It's like everybody's on the same team and everybody's not on the same team.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like when they need to be on the same team, they are. And then when they're not, they're
It's a
just,
joke, dude.
It's so bizarre. And I think what's the core of the true north of how they're, to go with a compass analogy, the thing that drags everybody true north is just money. It's like, where is money telling me to go? Well, that's where I'm going to go. That's what it feels like. And it feels like that was kind of the situation here with old Bob, Gold Bar Bob, as they're calling him.
Gold Bar Bob.
Oh my goodness.
Gold Bar Bob.
So New York,
GBB.
This is AP reporting. Former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez was sentenced Wednesday to 11 years in prison for accepting bribes of gold and cash and acting as an agent of Egypt. The crimes, his lawyer said, he's been mocked for as Gold Bar Bob, which is just,
It's pretty cool name.
If I ever imagine you see him in public and you're like, Gold Bar Bob, Gold Bar Bob. So U.S. District Judge Sidney H. Stein delivered the sentence after the Democrat tearfully addressed the court. He said he'd lost everything he cared about except his family. Menendez, remember the video, by the way, ADD, of Bob Menendez in front of the Taj Mahal?
Just gonna bring that up.
Singing the song.
We need to get that in the clip. That's so for TikTok, because that's just, he was proposing to his
terrible
girlfriend. Sorry, I don't know. Him crying in court made me think of him in front of the Taj Mahal.
Dude, he's tearing up.
So Menendez resigned last year after becoming one of only a handful of U.S. senators ever to be convicted while in office. So there you go, Jimmy. There's only a few. You were successful, powerful. You stood at the apex of our political system, Stein told Menendez in a packed Manhattan courtroom. Somewhere along the way, and I don't know when it was, you lost your way, and working for the public good became working for your good.
Don't we all?
Wow. Talk about a slap on the wrist.
So sad.
This is why we need term limits on these people, right?
Yeah, I think we can all agree. Term limits are a good idea. What's been the result, Stein said? You lost your Senate seat, you lost your chairmanship, and you lost your good name.
Dang.
Now you're just Gold Bar Bob. Menendez, who's 71, portrayed himself to the judge as a sympathetic figure, stressing his decades of public service and declaring that he was chastened by the experience afterward. Talking to reporters with TV cameras and microphones outside, he turned defiant. I am innocent, he proclaimed, vowing to appeal. So these politicians, they're all snakes. They know how to wiggle out of everything. But he's 71 years old. In 11 years, he'll be 82 when this is up. That's the end of that's like the rest of his life almost.
With the technology booming the way it is, he's going to come out of there not knowing what the heck is going on. Imagine 11 years from now, dude. Lots going to change.
Well, he'll have the internet in prison.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have a good experience.
Maybe
It's gonna be minimum security.
Wait a second, guys. Maybe Gold Bar Bob will listen to the Garden State podcast while he's in Railway State.
Yeah,
Nothing else
he's
to
going to
do.
have plenty of time. He's going to be looking for new podcasts and things to listen to. Wait, do you think he's going to get he's going to be in one of those prisons where he gets treatment like that?
I think generally, if you're not like a really high offender, like if you're not a
violent criminal.
I think you get access to like the internet and stuff. Don't they get like a computer?
But how many hours a day?
Maybe an hour. You go down to the mess hall and they're like, hey, everybody,
That's
use
great.
the internet.
That's good that our episodes are like an hour long.
I think
And you can finish a whole podcast.
in federal.
I didn't think that many people got that access.
Remember
if
when
you're-
Martha Stewart went to jail and
Yep.
she was like, "Oh yeah, my prison cell's like a room. It's pretty nice."
Which that was messed up, by the way. Free Martha. She should have never gone to jail. So it says no federal prisoners do not have access to the internet. Okay, I lied.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they would.
In federal prison, can you use computers? Maybe that's what I was thinking.
They probably have like a time. They probably like a half an hour they
Wow.
can use
So
computers.
New Jersey prisons don't allow internet access or laptops, but have made tablet computers available since 2015 for incarcerated people to send emails and videograms, download digital books.
Videograms.
Yeah, what's a videogram? Download digital books, games, and music, and transfer money through a system called JPay. So I'm thinking they can listen to podcasts.
Dude, imagine like one of you guys got locked up and like every week I'd have to record the prison call for the podcast.
It'd be like Lil Wayne when he did that.
Dude, that'd be
he
crazy.
did that little piece of the album.
We're like, Josh, give us a little weekend update. Like,
Like in Railway State Penitentiary, I got beat up yesterday.
how's Railway prison, Josh?
Oh man.
See,
Yeah,
you can
you
never
know,
leave the pod.
I'll say there's a part of me that thinks anytime justice is a good thing, we should celebrate justice, right? You have to have a good moral conscience.
And big justice.
But it's sad when you see people ruin their lives. I mean, you're talking about
sorry,
that's 5 big booms. Like to me, Bob Menendez, what a sad ending to a man's life that he says was about public service. He could have lived an amazing life, really helped New Jersey, and gone out on a high note.
Had to ruin it.
And retired. But you know what gets to everybody is the greed.
Yeah,
the greed,
money's
the
what's
lust,
about.
the lust for power, the lust for more money, and the lust for Mercedes-Benzes.
Ugh.
You know what the funny thing is I saw people tweeting about yesterday? Bob Menendez apparently was talking about how Bitcoin is dangerous because it could be used to bribe politicians.
Whoa.
So he was saying all our politicians are going to be bribed by Bitcoin, and everyone's like,
I believe him.
Bob Menendez sentenced for being bribed by gold bars.
Yep.
After criticizing, I mean, it's just
That's
crazy.
pretty funny.
It's just people have no shame. So
So you guys think he actually serves the 11 years?
No,
Or you think
I don't think-
you think he's gonna get dumbed down like a good amount?
I'll say he serves 5.
5? Taking our bets now.
yeah, I think Jimmy has a good point there. I don't think he's going to do a full 11. I think this is all theater as well because the judges in our system are also in many ways politicians nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, the old image of a judge in a robe that's like an old wise man that
Bring it
loves
back.
people and loves
Bring it
justice.
back.
They don't exist anymore. You know that one judge that's always viral for like letting people go for their
Yeah.
parking tickets?
Yeah, he's the man.
I love that guy. That's
So
what I want a
nice.
judge to be.
Like caught in Providence or something.
Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island.
Like I want it to be like a strong old man that knows when someone's got to go to jail forever because they murdered somebody. But when someone does when it's the right time to show a little mercy,
Yeah.
yeah.
you got to be, I think that's,
Be a decent human being.
it's like very Andy Griffith show feeling. Like
Yeah.
the wise older man.
I haven't watched those in a while. They haven't popped up in my feed.
Those videos are great.
Those
He had
videos are
cancer.
awesome.
He was battling cancer.
Yeah.
Is he good now?
I don't know. Last
What?
I heard, he was like off the seat for a little while.
Yeah. So we got to get him back up there.
no.
Get him back in the gown. I
Yeah.
also think we should get our judges back wearing the wig.
All right, we got to move
When,
on.
what year?
let's keep going.
What year did they transition from the real locks to the wigs? That's the real question.
When
Like, when did they stop
US
growing
I feel like
the
it
hair?
was always a wig. No,
You don't think they grew their actual hair like that back in the day?
I don't think so. I feel like it
No.
was something
What?
that they put on. Always.
No, it's real hair. They ain't got wigs back then.
By the 19th century. So here's a good point. Most U.S. judges stopped wearing wigs by early 19th century. This was due to a desire to break the British traditions. Thank goodness, by the way.
Wow.
And the association with wigs with European monarchies. You know, the term bigwig comes from that. The rich would have these
I don't
nice
even know
wigs.
that. I don't even know that term.
Really?
You ever heard of that guy's a bigwig?
Big wig? No.
what?
Really?
When would you use that?
So like when your friend's dad's the CEO of Sony.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a bigwig.
Nice.
At Sony.
Oh no, I never heard that. I always heard like top dog or something like that. Like not big wig. Like he's top dog of Sony.
All right.
Big wig.
Sorry, let's keep going.
Bigwig.
Jimmy's getting fed up. We got to wrap it up here. I know we have a hard stop soon, so
No, we're gonna.
let's go on to this next story. A thief was caught on camera this week stealing a $7,000 bird from a pet shop.
This is heartbreaking.
This is a little suspicious.
The bird trafficking is crazy, dude. Especially with these.
Josh, you're gonna need to cut a Dumb and Dumber clip into this clip.
But he didn't die.
I just think the
Yeah,
pretty
but it
pretty bird.
relates.
Okay.
So, a wildly brazen thief snatched a coveted African gray parrot from a New Jersey bird store in a caught-on-camera daylight sortie that stunned the store's owner and left her terrified for the afflicted avian's life. Why did that read like spoken word?
Afflicted
That's beautiful.
avian's life.
The unidentified suspect wore a dark Nike hoodie when he strode into Birds by Joe 2 on Route 46 in Saddlebrook in Bergen County about 3:30 p.m. Thursday and asked owner Katrina if he could see the pricey parrot, which cost a cool $7,000. So this guy came in, started asking all these questions, and I thought, okay, he's going to buy the bird. But that's when the man suddenly seized the cage with the bird inside and flew the coop, leaving the shocked owner in the wake, according to NJ.com. It actually took me a few seconds to realize what was happening, the reality of it. She said that this has never happened to us. So the store's security cameras caught the whole thing, and Birds by Joe later posted screen grabs to the store's Instagram account. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put up this photo of this man. Let's make him famous in New Jersey. If you know who he is, leave a comment below, and let's get some justice and figure out where this bird's at.
The bird's probably gone by now, to be honest with you.
Flew away?
No, it's sold. He
think
probably sold it for a pretty penny, dude.
You think so? This guy's he's on the bird resale market.
Oh, dude, it says this species is one of the world's most heavily trafficked.
Really?
More than 1.3 million have been detected in the international trade since 1975.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, they're worth a pretty penny on the black market.
It's a what? African macaw?
African gray?
So these are beautiful. Wow.
They're the really smart ones. They're the ones that you could train to speak and mimic your language.
Oh.
That's why there's so much money, bro.
I would
this
want
thing
the colorful
is so
one.
cute.
Wow, that's a really cool bird.
He's so adorable. Like, I'm putting up this photo all over the place, but like, such an adorable bird. But bro, yeah, he's probably gone by now, unfortunately. But the suspect, he's on the loose. He's somewhere in Jersey still. We got to find him. I'm shocked they haven't found him yet because he's so clear on this videotape. It's wild.
Yeah, so if you happen to know who this man is or if you have any information, you can call the Saddlebrook Police Department at 201-587-2940.
Shout out to Birds by Joe, too. I've been there.
You have?
Yeah, especially because I was a Parrot owner, so I had to go, get some supplies. I think I ended up there a few times.
That's related to the Birds by Joe in Greenbrook?
Yeah, so Greenbrook is 1, then Birds by Joe 2 is in Bergen County, I believe. That's why it's called 2.
Wow.
I like how he added a 2.
It's like
Instead of just calling it Birds by Joe. I'm pretty sure it's the same owner. They just put a 2 at the second location, which is crazy to me.
Birds by Joe.
Yeah, so Greenbrook, New Jersey, and Saddle. Yeah, so I've been to the Greenbrook a bunch of times. I've been to the Saddlebrook one like once. But yeah, like great local shop. Everything you need for your birds, you can get at Birds by Joe. But so it's heartbreaking. If they want to sponsor the pod, I would love that. I would love to bring another bird into the podcast. But like,
could we get a bird cage in the corner?
No.
And then it's just like talk, we give it a mic.
If we get a bird, one of you guys brings it home with you, and you guys talk to it.
Josh, could you bring a bird in? You like birds.
Yeah, but I just I don't have time to manage a bird at home. You would be a great candidate for the studio bird. We could buy it with the company money, but like June would love to have a bird at home. She would talk to the bird every single day.
Shelby would.
We're getting her a fish for her birthday. Her second birthday. We decided we're going to get her like a beta fish.
She's going to be like, this is not a snake. I don't want a fish.
Yeah, she wants a snake.
I hope June isn't listening to this.
Get a snake for her, dude. That'd be crazy. Literally snake.
Says all day.
Yeah, but the thing with the bird is like at least a bird could talk to June. A fish, what's a fish going to do? She's going to get bored of the fish in a day.
I used to love my fish.
Fish are great. Last story of the day. One New Jersey town has once again canceled its annual Groundhog Day celebration because they cannot locate a groundhog.
They cannot locate a groundhog. There's like 50 running around my backyard.
There you go.
They can't find a groundhog. And every year they can't find a groundhog.
Why do we got to be bringing in groundhogs from the out of the state and faking this whole thing? Let's bring the real groundhogs out.
Support New Jersey labor.
Support New Jersey groundhogs. Let's just go to an actual groundhog station in the ground and film it popping up. Why do we got to fake it?
Groundhog station in the ground.
Okay.
What are their homes called? I don't know.
My headline wasn't perfect. I could redo it a little bit. They can locate a groundhog, but state laws aren't allowing them to have a groundhog.
Because they're trying to bring a groundhog from out of state into Jersey.
Yeah.
Why are we using Jersey groundhogs?
So should I reread the headline differently?
I don't think
No,
so.
it's great.
So for a fifth year in a row, a New Jersey borough has had to cancel its beloved Groundhog Day celebration for a simple and pretty important reason. They can't get a groundhog due to a state law. Residents of Milltown in Middlesex County will say just how special the February holiday is to the town of about 7,000. It's a big tradition in town. It's like one big family, said one resident. Those who have attended the unique event also tell of the joy they get from the experience and how that's been hard to come by after wranglers of the town groundhog named Milton Mel were forced to cancel the past few years of celebration. We're frustrated. I'm trying to keep a smile on my face, but it's not easy. These people are heartbroken.
It's not funny. This is not funny.
Not good.
Come on.
I didn't know they're so torn up about this.
This is a big deal, dude.
Okay, so
Milton.
here's what I say. We have to get rid of these bureaucrats that aren't letting the people do what they want to do. Let this town have a groundhog.
Why don't they allow a groundhog?
To protect the animals.
So the problem started in 2021 when Milltown Mel died. Wranglers found a replacement in Tennessee and brought it to the town to assume the important role. But they had to surrender the replacement groundhog due to the state officials, thanks to a state law that bans importing animals who have the potential to carry rabies.
Hey, it's true.
Again, Why don't we use a New Jersey groundhog?
Use the Jersey groundhogs. That's what I'm saying,
But
Jim.
this is where
Why we got to bring one from Tennessee?
This is where it gets ridiculous with the bureau. We could find out very easily, I'm sure, if this groundhog that they imported has rabies. Can't they just do a test?
Yeah, you would think.
Like, do a little blood work. Does he have rabies or not? Oh, he doesn't. Okay, let him.
It's never easy, Josh.
So they're just mad. It's like a dumb rule that's like, well, could he have rabies? Well, find out if he had rabies.
Okay,
you know,
also,
make an exception
it's
for
been
the
5 years. Do we just not have enough groundhogs to find in Jersey? There's got to be a bigger reason here.
I think everybody at some point has had a groundhog in their backyard. So it
I
makes me
know.
think there's a lot of groundhogs. I'm starting to wonder if this township is looking to just create some
more buzz
some
within the
buzz.
town?
Yeah, I mean, if they were to get a groundhog this year, I'd be more than happy to come by and promote the event, be a part of it, like Puxatawny Phil.
Yes.
But I think that the idea here that where they're not allowed to import, they did import and they got in trouble for it. It is sad, and it says we're still not allowed to do it yet because the law has not been changed yet. So until that happens, we can't legally obtain a groundhog and be its caretaker.
Enough with the theater.
Let me tell you something here. It's been 5 years. It's not going to be the same when they bring it back.
Nah,
we should just leave it in the past.
It's already dead.
Wait, but how did they get the other one in the first place?
I think these are the things that make us. Well, I think it was from the town. I think it was from the area.
Yeah, but
Then he passed.
He's probably
but I
alive
don't
for like
understand why
40
they-
years. How long
sounds
does the
like-
groundhog live for?
Because
did the law change though, where they're not allowed to go catch one because
it doesn't
you
say.
can't keep one in captivity or something?
It doesn't say, but I'd imagine that's just the way this state works. It used to be a free nation.
It was probably like grandfathered in or something, like where it was like an older
guys,
and the law changed.
what do you
Yeah.
think the average lifespan of a groundhog in the wild is? And then captivity. So give me in the wild first and then captivity.
Is it long or is it really short? Is it like 9 years or is it like 45 years?
I'm not going to give
I
you
feel like
any
it's
clues.
20 years.
Yeah, I was going to say 20 years probably in the wild.
I'm going to say a good 13 in the wild.
In captivity, I'm going to say I think Chomik's on the money for 13, and in the wild, 20 to 30 years.
I said 13 in the wild.
So you think it's going to live shorter in captivity than in the wild?
Yeah, I think in the
I
wild.
think it's the
wild.
opposite.
they're
13 in the
savages.
wild,
I have it
7
backwards.
in
You're right.
captivity.
The average lifespan of groundhog in the wild is 2 to 3 years.
What? Oh!
But they can live up to 6 years. In captivity, it can live up to 14 years.
No way.
So 2 years.
This Puxatawny Phil guy, he's been dead multiple times in my
Also,
life.
they just
Yeah,
keep
they-
using like fakes.
They
Yeah.
always. Well, you guys know, did you see, it was like 10 years ago, Bill de Blasio killed Punxsutawney Phil.
How do you kill him?
He dropped him.
I remember
you're right. I
that.
forgot.
He
That was
died?
crazy.
Yeah,
He didn't make it.
That was a big deal.
He died?
He died. You can
De
look it up.
Blasio?
Look up Bill de Blasio.
Is there a video of him
killed
dropping?
Yeah, no, there
Yeah.
definitely is.
Did he react like, oh?
Oh, he laughed.
He
And then everyone was
laughed.
like, oh, did he just die?
Okay, I'll have a video here, and then we'll close out the podcast with this. This is pretty ridiculous.
This is terrible.
Groundhog dropped by mayor
I think
later
it was
dies
Punxsutawney Phil
is
or
the
some-
title of the video.
Another groundhog.
The whole concept of Groundhog Day is absolutely ridiculous. How we're just like,
He looks fine though after he falls.
everyone's laughing and like they
Yeah,
don't
but he
know.
died like the next day or
You know,
something.
do the shock or something like
I don't
that.
know.
Why, dude? This is like animal abuse. If you look at these videos of the groundhogs, why don't we just find a groundhog where it lives in the ground and set up a camera, and gather around it and watch what happens when it naturally comes out of the ground? We like feed it. We put some food outside to like draw them out or something.
Here's what I see happening around New Jersey. Our traditions, our heritage, the connection we have with one another as community members is being ripped apart. In Bergen County, it's the blue laws. In Milltown, it's the Groundhog Day celebration going away. We need cultural ties. We need stupid things that bring us together and make us go, I'm a part of the community. I'm going to go watch the groundhog. I'm going to go watch the M&M in Hackettstown.
I'm about to say like a New Year's lentil drop.
We need weird local stuff. Governor Phil Murphy, get these people a groundhog. I'm calling on you. Can we tag him on this video?
Is this the only town that I feel like no one else does these groundhog celebrations, or do they?
The article does say the Turtleback Zoo does do a Groundhog Day celebration.
Turtleback Zoo. I love the Turtleback Zoo. Wait, they actually do they own a groundhog at the Turtleback Zoo? Or
I
they bring
assume
one in.
so.
Yeah, they have a groundhog.
Well, you've been there recently. Have you seen them or no?
I don't remember seeing it last time I was there, but I know they have them. They have every animal.
Interesting.
It's like Noah's Ark in there. They got them all.
That's
Two of
crazy.
everything.
Two of everything.
All right. Hey, thank you everybody for listening this week. About this week's episode. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And we will be back next week with more New Jersey news. Hey, if you have a story you want us to talk about, a tip, a local insight, something interesting that's mysterious you want to call in about, call the mailbag. That's 908-67-99-99-3. And otherwise, we will see you next Friday with more New Jersey news. Have a great weekend.
Later, guys.
Later.
You're listening to the Garden State. The Dirty Jers.